a podcast hosted by Dr. Pamela A. Lard, social scientist, professor, and author committed to the practice and science of joy. We hope you enjoy this episode.
Welcome to the Joy Whisperer podcast. Now, it has been a while, but we are back. I'm Dr. Pamela Larde. Well, technically, I'm Dr. Pam's AI twin, sitting in while she is on a hiatus, knee-deep in a really amazing book project we cannot wait to release. But don't worry, I've been trained well, so everything I'm about to share, that's all Dr. Pam. Her research, her stories, her heart. I'm just here to be the voice carrying it to you today. So let's get into it. Have you ever noticed how one conversation can shift your whole mood? Like you can start the day feeling great, and then you spend 30 minutes with the wrong person and suddenly you're questioning everything. Your decisions, your direction, yourself. Or flip that, you're exhausted, running on fumes, and you get off the phone with that friend. You know the one. And somehow you've got your whole life figured out all over again. That's the power of who you surround yourself with. And today, I want to dig into why this matters, especially for you. Whether you're building a business, leading a team, or just trying to protect your peace while you do big things in the world, who you do this with is everything. There's a saying that Warren Buffett and Sheryl Sandberg have both repeated, and Michelle Obama has echoed this in her own way. The most important decision you'll ever make has nothing to do with your money or career. It's who you choose to have by your side. Now, they were talking about marriage, but I want to expand on this because whether we're talking about a romantic partner, your business bestie, your inner circle, or the friend you take on vacation, who you surround yourself with is critical, profoundly critical. And as women building things, careers, companies, legacies, you already know this in your bones. You've felt it. Now, you know I don't just talk without bringing you the receipts or the data. So let me touch on what the research says before I share a personal experience. One of my favorite books on well-being is called The Good Life by Doctors Robert Waldinger and Mark Scholes. It's based on the Harvard study of adult development that has been tracking people for over 85 years. This is the longest running study on human happiness ever conducted. And what did they find after 8 decades of data? Dr. Waldinger, the study's director, said it plain. Good relationships keep us happier and healthier, period. Not the corner office, not the salary, not the title. Relationships. They found that the quality of your connections at age 50 was a better predictor of your health than your cholesterol levels. Let that sit for a moment. Dr. George Valiant, who led the study for decades, summed up 85 years of research in 7 words. The key to healthy aging is relationships, relationships, relationships. In my own research, I found the same thing. When I surveyed a group of nearly 500 coaches about what brings the most joy, almost 70% said that connection with family and friends is what did it. That was 3 times more than any other category. Not hitting goals, no career wins here, just people. But here's what we don't talk about enough. And this is where I need you to lean in, because relationships are a double-edged sword. The same connection that can be life-giving can also be life-draining. The research shows that negative interactions with people close to us elevate cortisol. That's our stress hormone. It elevates it in ways that can dysregulate our whole system. Binghamton University found that unsupportive partners raised stress hormones in ways that affected not just mood, but immune function, and even how fast wounds heal. Wow. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I was in Jamaica, and I had my heart set on Rick's Cafe. You know the place if you've been there. This is the place that has those famous cliffs where people jump into the Caribbean Sea. I had always wanted to make that jump. It was on my list. It was my symbol of courage, of doing things that scared and thrilled me at the same time. I was there with a friend and I was finally ready. I was going to do this. Just before I started climbing up to the platform, my heart was pounding. But it was the good kind of nervous, the kind that tells you're about to do something you will never forget. But my friend was in a bad mood. And instead of support, instead of encouragement, they turned that negative energy toward me, berating me, tearing me down, accusing me of being selfish and making everything about me. Right there, as I was about to make the climb of my life towards something I had dreamed of doing for years. I tried to shake it off, and I proceeded to climb anyway, but by the time I reached the top, I was shaking. Not from fear of the jump, but from the unexplainable emotional assault I had just endured. As I stood at the top of the platform, I tried desperately to calm myself down. I motioned forward once. I stepped back. I took a breath. I motioned forward again, stepped back, took a deeper breath. But when I attempted to step forward the third time, the lifeguard put his arm in front of me and said, "I'm sorry, I cannot let you jump. That kind of nervousness causes injuries." I panicked and begged for another chance. He shook his head and motioned me back the other way. And with my eyes welling in angry tears, I had to make that climb back down the ladder. I was devastated. Now that was a cliff jump, a vacation memory I didn't get to make. But let me ask you something. What if that had been the morning of the biggest meeting of my career? A deal I'd been working on for over a year. What if I'd walked into that boardroom shaking, not from nerves about the presentation, but from someone else's emotional toxicity? What if it had been right before I stepped on stage to deliver a keynote address? An audience that needed what I was called there to share, and I couldn't access my power because someone had just drained it from me. That is the impact the wrong company can have. That's why who you surround yourself with is a strategic decision. It's a business decision. It's a life decision. But let's flip it, because when you have the right people around you, let me tell you, everything changes. People who feel understood and cared for by their partners have healthier cortisol patterns, even 10 years later. Supportive relationships don't just make us feel good. They make us perform better. They accelerate our careers. They amplify our courage. They give us hope when we're depleted and empowerment when we doubt ourselves. Think about a time someone believed in you before you fully believed in yourself. Think about the person who looked you in the eye before a big moment and said, "Girl, you were made for this." That's fuel. That's the difference between climbing back down the ladder and making the jump. So here's my invitation to you today. Take an honest inventory. Look at the people in your inner circle, the ones you travel with, strategize with, celebrate with, cry with. Ask yourself, are they life-giving or life-draining? Do they expand your capacity or deplete it? Do they speak life over your dreams or do they shrink you when you're trying to grow? Are they indifferent or are they engaged? Because who you surround yourself with isn't just about comfort. It's about capacity, about what you're able to become, about whether you make the jump or climb back down that ladder. The Harvard researchers discovered something beautiful. The happiest people at the end of their lives didn't brag about their achievements. They talked about relationships they'd nurtured, the love they'd invested in, the people who had walked with them. Choose your people wisely, my friend, because the company you keep shapes the life you live, the joy you experience, and the legacy you leave. Now, before I let you go, the real Dr. Pam is a professor of leadership, a coach for coaches, academic professionals, and doctoral students who are ready to lead with joy and live with purpose. If something in today's episode resonated with you, here's how you can stay connected. Follow her at Joy Whisperer on TikTok and Instagram for bite-sized wisdom on joy, leadership, and living fully alive. Connect with her on LinkedIn at Dr. Pamela Larde for deeper connections and professional insight. And visit her website at www.drpamela.com drpamelalarde.com to learn more about her work, her research, and how she might support your journey. Until next time, I'm Dr. Pam's AI twin, and this has been the Joy Whisperer. Remember, joy is resistance, joy is life-giving, joy is yours. Pursue it fiercely and unapologetically. Thank you for joining me today.